Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day. I have been waiting to do this video for quite a bit now. I got the entire Sarah J. Maas ACOTAR series. We all know about these books. We all know about this author. I don't need to explain here. But what I will explain before you click off, I have masterminded for the past 2 years, maybe 3, avoiding every spoiler, not watching any reading vlogs on this. Every TikTok I have swiped past it. I have never read any of her books, and today is the day that I break into them. I'm just so excited we're here and that I get to document this monumental moment. I'm really hyping it up right now. I have no idea what to expect. I've been kept out of this little secret for quite a bit now. So as you see, the first one is gone. I actually have started reading it because I've just been so excited. I got gifted this for Christmas. I've just seen it in its pretty little box and I am just waiting. I've been pining here, like resisting the urge to open these up and read all of them. I have never been so excited about anything ever, maybe. If you have never read these books before, tag along. This is your sign to stop this right now. Go buy the books and let's read these together. I'm gonna do a spoiler-free video. If you've already read these books and you're already in the know about what this series means, then you get to see my reactions. And not knowing anything, I think that's so exciting. Is like, oh, you just wait, girl. Like, you have no idea what's coming your way. So I am just so excited to get into this first one. We are gonna get cozy here. It's gonna make this a nice little reading vlog. So let's just get into it. Now that I have my coffee, let's talk. So I did start this book a couple days ago and I'm 25% into the book. I'm about here. So not so far into it, but I do definitely think I could finish this today and that is my goal. Currently 3:05. We have the rest of the day to just read and rot. I think this is the perfect time to just start reading and see how far I can get into this book today. Giving a little update, I am 39% of the way in. I'm on page 166 and I feel like we are just now getting to a place where I'm about to be invested. I will say it was a very slow start for me. I also was traveling when I first started this, so I kind of was like focused on other things. I feel like now I'm actually like understanding the characters, because at first they were saying things I just didn't really understand yet, and I knew I had to be patient to wait for them, but I was just like, what does that mean? How does that correlate? And if you're not telling me right away, I'm gonna close the book and scroll on TikTok or something. We're understanding all of the different characters a lot. We're getting more backstory and they're saying a lot of history now, which I thoroughly enjoy. When I read fantasy, I want to be able to understand the world very quickly. Like, I don't want to sit and be waiting. I just wasn't getting it yet. And now the romance side of the book is starting to kick in a little bit more. And I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I'm still figuring it out. I will say, you saw me smiling in some of those clips. lips. Like they definitely were getting me. And I had underlined one quote pretty recently that I thought was just like cute. That smile of his sparked something bold in my chest. He also said that you like being brushed, and if I'm a clever girl, I might train you with treats. Tamlin tipped his head to the sky and roared with laughter. Despite myself, I let out a soft laugh. I might die of surprise, Lucien said behind me. You made a joke, Faye. And it's not like it's some great, crazy writing, but I underlined it because I feel like you start to get endearment. She's starting to open up a little bit more, and these walls that she's also hiding from the reader are starting to open up. And I'm now like getting her, and I'm connecting with her and being able to feel these emotions towards what she's going through and like how she's coping. The way that questions are asked to her, you are getting like this other side of just how complex and sad her life was before this. It was like such a secret blessing that everything happened. And I think we're going to get more building into that. I could see the foreshadowing there of it starting to build up a little bit more. Off to a pretty good start. Hi, I'm on page 212. I have a feeling something is gonna happen. The end of this chapter just said something that I don't know. This is like a foreshadow. She's gonna get real mad. It's the end of chapter 23, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Oh, no, no, no. You like think it's sweet, but then if you think about it, it's like, maybe, just maybe, there's a reason behind the way you're acting. And that is all I'm gonna say. It's currently like 10 o'clock. I'm on page 261. I am invested. Hate to admit it. I was watching TV and I just couldn't stop thinking about these characters and this world. We're a little over halfway into the book and we just got to a part that is changing the scenery, and I really enjoyed that because right as you start figuring out this world, you just get access to just a whole other realm that you weren't even thinking about. I'm trying to make this as spoiler-free as possible. You get this whole other timeline that was going on in the background, and now it's being brought to the forefront. I wasn't even thinking about this. I was so invested in Faye and the, I don't know how you say the world, Parthian, something like that. You're so invested in that you're not even thinking about this other timeline that's going on at the exact same time. And now I'm getting brought back these things I haven't even thought about since the beginning of the book, and I'm like, whoa, wait, now I have to get in the mindset of who you are, like what's going on, like why do you feel this way. It's funny because I kind of feel like the main character right now. Like I get her, I understand every feeling she's going through because that's exactly what's going on in my brain as I'm reading this, and I love when that happens, when you just connect with the character so much. Something traumatic happens and they get mad and you get mad, like you have the same exact reaction to something and you're like, oh boy, like ugh. What are we doing here? But I do severely need to go to bed because it's way past my bedtime and I have to wake up early. I can't stop reading this. That's my check-in. There's just no way this is happening right now. Oh my gosh. I literally might cry. way. Hi guys, it's been a couple days. It was a little slow to get into. Probably until I got to page 2 something did I really get into the story. I think if I wasn't making this video, I might have put it down and looked for something else that was just a little more enticing and got me off the first page. I feel like at the very beginning it was very hard to just like grasp everything, and I feel like I was just thrown into this world with no idea of what to expect. And from there was no explanation as to what was exactly going on. Like the Fae didn't make any sense to me at the very beginning. I keep saying Fae and then her name as Frey or Fae. Like I say them exactly the same, and I realized that as I was editing this video. In my head, F-E-Y-R-E is Fae. The fairies are also called Fae, F-A-E. So I'm definitely saying it wrong. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5. At first I was thinking a 3.75 because the second half of the book I was very, very invested. There was just so much going on at once, but that's kind of why I bumped it down to 3.5, because the very first half of the book, it's just kind of drawn out. It's almost like she realized it and then was like, shoot, let me just add all these things in here. So then the second half of the book is like pack filled with so many things going on and so many different storylines. The romance was very slow, which I actually did enjoy. I liked that it wasn't just like bam, 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 because it made the love story a little more believable. That's kind of why I bumped it down to a 3.5, just because I feel like she could have made it, like organized it just a bit better, where there was kind of things you could look forward to in like all of the book. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I definitely am going to continue reading these. I'm very interested on how she's going to keep growing things, and I feel like she had left some good cliffhangers to actually create a whole other world, and I thought that was very smart of her. And now I'm gonna get into the spoiler section. If you haven't seen it, click off. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. But if not, let's get into it. I wrote some notes while I was reading, so some of these kind of probably don't make that much sense anymore, but this is kind of what I was thinking about when I couldn't tell you what I was thinking about during this video. I have lots to say. I enjoy how Feyre doesn't love hunting. She does it because she has to. Something else I love about her character is the animosity between her being a huntress and her loving art. I think that was such a cool way to create depth in her character. Honestly, hands down to Sarah J Maas for that, because I noticed that she did that in her 3 main characters. Tamlin, Lucien, and Feyre made them to be these strong alpha dominant characters. As you continue to read, you just find that they're really just yearning for something not as seemingly strong, something more powerful. And it's gentleness, it's kindness, it's love. And I think that's really beautiful. I also think that might be a reflection of just her as a person that accidentally seeped into the book, because for example, Feyre, she's a huntress, but she loves art. She finds herself looking at these colors and the blues of the people and the greens of the grass and trying to figure out how she can put that on a canvas. Lucien, he's as strong, he has this crazy eye, like he looks so scary, but on the inside he's still grieving his first love. And Tamlin, he's mighty powerful, like unstoppable essentially, and on the inside he is hurting because he doesn't want to be that, and he wants to just be able to live in peace and harmony. And so I think that it's really cool that all these characters, you see them and you're like, wow, I wish I could be just as strong as them and powerful as them and be so determined. But at the end of the day, what's really pushing them forward is love. And I thought that was really, really beautiful, and the way she crafted that was really magnificent. The other side of it, I hate how Feyre just has such a little self-worth. I found myself being like, girl, like, do you like know how good you are? Like, stop putting yourself in this little bubble and stand up. Like, you are strong, you are a woman, you are powerful. I just felt so bad for her, for the sadness of her upbringing and how she was never taught how to read. Like, she lost all these core things that people get to learn and be and have all these experiences with her mom, and instead she had to be the man of the house. Like, her dad wasn't her dad anymore. And I think it's really sad when a parent becomes more of someone that you feel you have to take care of instead of someone who takes care of you, especially at such a young age. Even Isaac, he never gave her a good portrayal of love. Like, all these people in her life that were supposed to show her what it means to love and to love deeply and to love right just ended up screwing her over, and she just had such a wrong portrayal of what love is supposed to be at such a young age. She just experienced all the worst definitions of love you could possibly experience at such a young age, and that I know is going to carry in to the themes of the book. And I know I'm gonna get mad with her later on when she decides to do stupid things over love. I just know it. I like that Tamlin and Lucien are like centuries years old, because I feel like it brings such a depth to their characters and kind of explains why they carry themselves a certain way. I also love that they pose as a quid pro quo to Feyre and Tamlin and Lucien as like a duo to her. Like, they give each other such good things, and it's just kind of like a perfect harmonious relationship for them. I feel like at such a young age she carries so much weight. Not that I know her, but I feel like she would be like, okay, how do I continue to live with so much pain and hurt? But then being able to see Tamlin and Lucien carry centuries years old weight of grief and loss and still be able to wake up and present themselves and be who they need to be, I feel like is so beneficial for her to see and grasp, and to know that it's not impossible because they have been doing it for so long. And then for Tamlin and Lucien, I love that they get to see life for the very first time through her eyes. Like when they took her to the Glen and Tamlin took her to the gallery, and being able to see her very first impressions of things and fall in love with what life should be like. I love that they get to also see that through her eyes, because I feel like once you live so long, you kind of forget the beauty of being able to live another day. I underlined this quote in the book: "Don't feel bad for one moment about doing what brings you joy. Being your human joy fascinates me. The way you experience things in your lifespan so wildly and deeply and all at once is entrancing. I'm drawn to it, even when I know I shouldn't be, even when I try not to be." And I feel like that perfectly encapsulates everything I was just saying, is to be human and to be living is a blessing, and being able to know that not everyone has the opportunities you have. Another theme I saw was that just because your blood doesn't mean your family, and I know that kind of changed throughout the book a lot, because when I wrote this was like right when Feyre and Tamlin and Lucien were like really getting like buddy, and so I kind of wrote this, so I don't think it really applies to the whole book, especially after you get to see her go back and resolve things with her family and kind of end on a good note. And I also feel like that kind of carries into like another sort of mini theme of sometimes the thing you think that will kill you actually saves you, and sometimes blood means very little when you find people who give you compassion and kindness and grace. Another little thought: I love the masks. I just love that you get to fall in love with a person at their core and not how they look. And I also wrote a little note which I thought is funny now looking back at it, but I was 62% of the way in when I wrote this, and I'm gonna tell you word for word what I wrote. There's so much more of Rysand. I know there just has to be, and I think it's funny now looking back on that. I'm excited. I think there's a lot more that we don't know about his character, and I can't wait to dive into that. I actually think I might like him more than Tamlin. Something about Rysand shows like I think that they could bond a lot more on like deeper things and how they feel about things. But at the end of the book, there was like a little teaser that when Rysand disappeared, he kind of like looked at her and like stumbled back, and I need to know what that means, because I've been thinking about it ever since. And now I have to actually understand what that means, because what is gonna happen. I just know there's something more with him, and I wonder if she's actually gonna be with him every week, or if that's just kind of like null and void now that everything happened. But I think she might be, and we're gonna see that character more, and I feel like they might fall in love, which I don't think I would be opposed to. I know he has a good heart inside, I just know it. He has a big, hard, scary interior, and if I were her, I would get in there and break it, because I know he's gentle on the inside, like so gentle. I also just love his character arc. Like, you think he's so bad, but he was actually plotting on the inside the whole time. You are the real one there, because what did Tamlin do besides just shut his mouth and not take out his claws the whole time? Rysand was the one that saved them. He literally had been masterminding this plot for so long. Those are all of my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this little reading vlog, kind of like a read with me for a week, but I only read one book. As you may have noticed, I only read the first book. I plan to make this a little series where I read these books and talk about them in depth and go into them with you, and we could just have like a little chat in a little group. But I plan to do these once a month, and if you want to join, tag along, subscribe, like this video, and I'm so glad you were here. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.